Hi and welcome along to Better Way to Do That, a weekly-ish podcast where I, Grant Mullen,
and myself, John Menezies,
somehow managed to cram a half-hour worth of garbage into a free podcast.
And sometimes there's a little bit of talk about music.
That's what we started the podcast for. So today we're going to be talking about song lyrics, but who knows what else we're going to be talking about.
We'll be going all over the place, don't you worry about that.
Why don't you find out with us? Enjoy.
А также шумелки, пыхтелки и сопелки. Сочиняю я неплохо иногда. Да. Хорошо живет на свете Винни-Пух.
And we're joined by a very fabulous, charming, and often acerbic, which is a word I just learned the meaning to, comedian who you may have heard of, Mr. Tim Ferguson.
Oh my God!
Have you heard
his baby?
I was going to leap in and do the whole thing you used to do with my tags, Tall Tim, but I'm not sure you're Tall Tim anymore.
No, I'm not that tall. I mean, I'm still like very lanky, but I remain seated like like Ming. You remember Ming?
Ming the Merciless.
Flash Gordon.
First movie my dad took me to see.
Oh, wow, yeah. And what a colourful and interesting piece of cinema that was. But, yeah, like Ming, I like to remain seated and imperious.
And that's Ming is also a way to describe a smell. So how's it go sitting down all the time?
It goes, yeah, it's very good. Quentin Kernahan, who was a mate of mine for a long time, called it, when you're sitting in a wheelchair, that you are at fart height.
Is that Quentin like Ray Martin's Quentin?
Yeah, fart height 911.
Oh, you get it all then.
So how long have you been friends with Quentin?
Oh, mate, we were buddies, like we started being buddies in 94, 95 when I was at Channel 9. And yeah, we'd always just were great mates. He passed away not so long ago, and it was quite shocking, despite the fact that it had been predicted by doctors like every 6 months. You've only got 6 months to live, they told his parents when he was born. And the little bastard just kept going.
He was in Mad Max, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in Mad Max. He had his own TV show. Quite an extraordinary guy for someone with osteo imperfecta, which is, Latin for, bad bones.
Yeah, his bones would break.
Yeah, he could put up with pain. He'd broken in his lifetime bones 500 times, over 500 times, and still going and still saying action and cut.
Oh, he was a director.
Yeah, director, producer, writer. He was doing everything. He did his live show. I worked with him on his live show, and it was very funny.
And we're very fortunate to have you here today, Tim. And you've got an art exhibition coming up with the amazing and talented Flacco, aka Paul Livingston. And that's in August at the Schaffer Gallery. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be. I hope it's going to look like art. I mean, what I do could not be described as art, or certainly won't be described.
You showed us something on the weekend.
Well, that's true.
That dick and balls.
I do a lot of art, but it's not what you would call, artistic. But people seem to like it. I kept myself alive during COVID by selling art to Americans.
Oh, Americans, that doesn't count.
No, I know. They don't know what's art. But
and
the higher the price, the more they think it's genuine. Really, we're in the wrong business.
You should have told them it was guns.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Paintings of guns.
Something for all the family.
I've just discovered a market. That's our product.
Take that, America.
Take that, America.
So, Tim, we've got you on our podcast today, and as you've probably picked up, we talk a lot of crap on our podcasts. And for some strange blessing reason today, we've landed Australia's biggest comedian, Australia's best comedic teacher as well. We were on your course on Saturday, on your how to write comedy course. My goodness, it took me an entire 24 hours after that to unpack all the content. And I think one of the biggest takeaways you said on that was every word you write is another brick in my beach house. So, Tim, thanks for helping us to build our beach house today.
Yeah. And, 2 bricks make a beach house.
Or
It's one of the-
another panel in the, but I won't do that skyscraper because we need another 6 stories on that.
Well, level 7's still
yeah.
got to be put aside for the marketing department. We've got an HR
absolutely.
department at level 5, so we've got all those things.
Level 8 is strippers. I'm looking forward to that.
There's a lot of organising to be done. That's the main thing.
People think podcasting's easy. They don't realise the team that you have behind you. We've got David Beckham. He's the window cleaner.
Yeah.
He's keeping busy.
He's
been
not a
doing
bad
well for
bloke,
himself.
Dave.
He is.
He just needs to focus more. Like I said to him the other day, what do you want to do with your life? I don't know. I used to be in soccer and I don't know if I liked it,
Yeah. So we just gave him a spot and now he cleans the windows. You know
Oh,
what? He's
that's good.
happy. He's a happy boy.
Yeah, Posh Spice is in the mailroom.
Yeah. Although she's female, but, she's allowed. This is modern times.
We
she's
have
a
a
Spice
ratio
Girl.
of, we've got 3 women working for us at the moment, and Posh Spice is 2 of them.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And she's really good.
And of course, Tim, we met you years ago when we worked at Rent-A-Gent together.
Rent-A-Gent. What's that?
Yeah. Don't you remember when you worked at Rent-A-Gent with us?
No, I
Don't
don't
tell me
remember
you've
that.
forgotten.
Was that like, were we gigolos? Is that what we were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were more our pimp than our...
You
Right.
did take a lot of drugs in the 90s, didn't you? No, you were out with Beyonce all the time. I remember it distinctly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's coming to me now.
So much drugs.
Tim's like, what the fuck? What am I doing on this podcast?
What am I doing on this podcast?
Hey, Tim, I feel it's only fitting that you announce what song we are doing this week.
Oh, yeah. What's it called?
Have you ever heard of it before?
Yeah, but I don't know what it's called. What's it called?
It's called Throw Your Arms Around
Oh,
Me
yeah, that's right.
by a little-known band called Hunters and Collectors, and it was covered quite successfully by another band in Australia called The Dog, Anthony Flippin' All-Stars.
Really? That's incredible.
We just did that song and other slow songs halfway through a show just because we had to get our breath back. It was a pretty physical kind of, show.
Yeah.
So we'd sing these kind of songs. It's only later on when you look back, you think, what the hell were those lyrics about?
Well, we're going to find out today. That's the first time you did this was on the big gig, was it? Or
I don't know.
let's just say it was.
Yeah, it was on the big gig, damn it.
It was now.
It was now.
Changing history. Brilliant.
Alrighty. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the song lyrics and we're going to see what we can draw out of this. We're going to see how funny we can make it. And then, Tim, if you wanted to point out at any stage what kind of jokes we're doing, if we do a joke,
Oh, yeah. I'll just say good ones and bad ones.
if we stumble across a joke at some stage. So, Johnny, do you want to kick us off with the lyrics?
I certainly will. The song starts like this. I will come for you at night time.
Okay, hang on a minute. Let's just stop it right there.
Yeah, it's problematic already.
So, who is this intended for, do you think?
I think it's Luca Brasi from Godfathers.
I will come for you at night time.
I will come for you at night time and then you will sleep with the fishes. It's really quite a
Yeah.
threatening opening line, isn't it?
Did you know, I've been listening to a crime podcast recently, and did you know that if they're going to do a raid on a house, they do it first thing in the morning,
Yes.
like before the sun comes up?
Yeah.
So it could be one of these sort of things. It could be like,
Yeah.
I'll come for you at
Could be
when
the
you're
cops.
vulnerable.
Cops coming for the mob.
Before you've got time to shred anything, put shoes on,
Yeah.
have a wee.
Throw the gun out the window.
So it could be, I will come for you at the time when you least expect it. But then why would you sing about it and tell somebody?
But you see, that's why you don't leave a musician in charge of your arrest plans.
Don't write down your crimes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Write that down, everyone.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Don't
Note
write
to
a
self,
song
don't write down your
about,
crime.
don't write a song about murdering and drug dealing, and don't write that song because,
This is the #1 podcast for the Australian Federal Police too, by the way.
yeah,
They
they
love it.
love
They
it.
do.
They do.
Can't get enough of it.
So if you're taking notes, feds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They listen in.
Yeah, that's what you do with the podcast, John.
Yeah. You solve crimes.
Yeah.
Because other people are doing crime podcasts. This is ours.
So in our tags now, we'll have to put crime podcast.
Yeah. Okay, let's solve this crime. I will raise you from your sleep, that is consistent with the cops kicking your door in at 5:30.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the dog's barking and
Yeah.
nearly getting off the chain is like, wait, Satan, wait, calm down, you're saying to the dog.
I'll raise you from your sleep with a battering ram, sirens, and perhaps some pepper spray.
Yeah, and some guns pointed at you. Get up, get up, get up. And you're trying to find your underpants and...
Trying to find them?
Yeah.
Where, hang on.
Well, that's
They're
obviously
strewn across the room somewhere because you were the beautiful girl, of course.
and you got to maybe go see the neighbours because they might have some as well. Like it's, already we're in high stress. What comes next?
Hang on. I still want to know where John's underpants are. How come you have to go searching for your underpants when you've got the cops? That's your first thing that you think about?
Well, the
cops
cops kick a door in, at least, want the meat and veg covered. You know what I mean? I don't sleep in pyjamas. I'm, a kind of fly-by-night cowboy freedom kind of guy.
My wife just recently bought me a pair of flannel pyjamas. Nothing says you've been married 25 years more than your wife coming home with a pair of flannel pyjamas.
Maybe you're having a retirement party for your penis?
Let's go to the next line, shall
All
we?
right. I will kiss you in 4 places.
Your left tit, your right tit. Oh, can I say tit on this podcast?
Yeah.
Your left tit, your right tit. What are the other 2 places?
Well, like, is this normally songs? Normally songs take longer to get into rimming. But okay, if that's what you hunters and collectors...
This is a police person.
Yeah, so let's wind back to what we're... So it's like... Open up in there! Stop or I'll kiss you in 4 places!
Keep those underpants on.
Hold him down. Hold him down. Yeah, I will kiss you in 4 places. I mean, it's supposed to be enigmatic, but we know what they're singing about. That's why they call them hunters.
They can hide it with as much enigma as they want, but we know the truth. This is actually, if you go to train with the police, this is the code for their training video. This is actually playing in the background.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, how sleeper agents have triggers?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the trigger for the police sleeper agents.
Okay. As I go running along your street.
I think that's away
in 4 places if you're running down the street. Like, is that like a quick drive-by smooch on the puss?
Yeah. Well,
like
that's running away.
How do you accomplish that?
Running away from the scene.
There's like a running along your street. But maybe, so it could be talking about their bodily fluids are running along the street, not they're physically running. Sorry, too far?
That's a bit much. We've already had the rimming, and now we're getting... No, I'm pretty sure he was just running.
It's a very happy day for me if it's too much for Tim Ferguson.
It's too much. Too much. You've got to surprise
people. The guy who wrote the
people.
song, I Love Dogs.
You've got to surprise people. That's the thing. See, that's the key.
Okay, so quick time out, Tim. How are we going with our joke formulation so far? Is there anything we've done at all?
Well, I think we'd all recognise that we've all got some work to do. But, we're not like improvisers, those people who do impro. Those poor people who are so bereft of ideas that they are incapable of sitting down and perhaps writing down something funny. They have to get someone say, okay, do The Godfather in the style of ABBA. Go. Like they couldn't have thought of that beforehand and written their gags. In fact, can I just make this a 30-second public announcement? If you are doing impro thinking, wow, this will be a career, it won't be, because you'll never get paid. Just shut up and be a comedian or get out of everybody's way. Because you look ridiculous.
I don't think they're in anyone's way. I think they're getting in their own way.
I think that was for us.
They wear bib and braces, and you can see their ankles because they don't wear socks because we're improvising. Those people, they're just in the way. We have to get rid of them. That's my 30 seconds.
They're practically communists.
They're practically.
Did you ever sing a song about hippies, Tim?
No, that wasn't me. My lawyers, I think, would back me up on that.
That's one of my favourites.
Hippies.
I want to spill the blood of a hippie.
Oh, yeah, they still persist. 30-second community service announcement. If you're a hippie, fucking stop it.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's right.
To be honest, I agree with it.
Yeah,
That's my two-word
go back to
coaching
Byron Bay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Byron
Hippies are
Bay's become
Nazis.
too trendy.
Mm.
Byron Bay's where Hemsworth lives now, unless he's moved.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it can't always be good, I guess.
Okay, so no more improv, John. Write your next jokes down.
Done.
Stop being lazy.
You know, I have
I've just
someone
done 40.
who I said, you can have a free ticket to my how to write narrative comedy, like comedy stories.
Yes.
You're welcome to come along. And they said, no, they just want to do improv.
Oh.
Which, makes me wonder, what's the plan B? When you turn 40, you're still doing improv? I don't understand people.
It worked for Robert Williams. It doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah, because
He
he
still
did
did it in the
by
format
himself.
of a...
Yeah,
Williams.
Williams would just walk out and, he always liked to make it look like he was improvising, but it's not like he hadn't worked out a lot of those gags before. Why would you just go on national television and make shit up? That's for newsreaders.
With the zinger. Let's go into the next verse, John.
I will squeeze the life out of you.
All right. I mean, it's not a happy song.
Is this a love song?
I don't know. Sometimes you just want to squeeze your kids so hard. It's like, but you don't.
Good work, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I will squeeze the life out of you. Are we still on to the police theme, or because the next line has me thinking that we might not be? Like, is this?
I don't know.
Is it a threat or a love song?
I don't know. Maybe we just need to keep going a little through and...
Yeah, what's the next line?
Go ahead.
You will make me laugh and make me cry.
They're doing improv.
Well, it's not an Australian drama film because they just make you cry, so I'm not sure what they could be talking about. Hunters and Collectors are from Melbourne. I think it's worth letting people
and they were
know.
from Melbourne in a time before good coffee shops too.
Yeah. And so that's why in some parts, You'll Make Me Laugh and Make Me Cry, it's a little bit poised.
So you will maybe... So that sounds like they're on the Frankston line.
Yeah. On the Frankston line, but they don't get off.
So the Frankston line, John, because John's from Tasmania. I'm from Frankston in Victoria, actually, originally. John's from
all over the place.
So Frankston would kind of be like Bridgewater, Gage-Brook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or from Sydney.
Or from Derby, which I was brought up. Yeah, there you go.
You been to Derby, Tim?
No. What is that?
In the UK?
Oh.
No, you wouldn't have been there. Nobody goes there. Everyone just leaves. Nobody visits.
Tim's
if you think
everywhere.
of the shape of England, pick a spot right in the middle. That's Derby, as far away from any beaches and hope and joy as you can get.
It's the perineum of the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. It's where the rail network comes out from, so it's just an industrial town. Horrible.
You will never forget it.
Sorry, Mum.
Oh, you'll make me laugh and make me cry, and you'll never forget it.
Is this a ghost?
Oh, I'm keen to take.
I mean, a poltergeist could squeeze you.
Yeah.
I'll come for you at night. I'll raise you from your sleep. Could be a ghost. Maybe the police aren't kicking the door in. Thank goodness for that.
I don't know if I can see Casper kissing someone in 4 places, though.
Casper might be into it. You might want to. And Casper's not the only ghost. There's other ghosts.
Go on.
There's all the ones out of Ghostbusters in that documentary.
The male Ghostbusters or the female Ghostbusters?
Both.
Do we count the female Ghostbusters?
If we count the male, we have to count the female. The modern times, man. Even though they ruined it. But it wasn't their fault. It was bad writing. It was bad writing.
Weren't they the writers?
Anyway, let's move on. Can we call the lawyers? Because we're going to get a barrage of calls about me bagging out.
You know, I don't know. Since we're doing this on video, I don't know if our normal joke about calling the lawyers would work. Should we?
Oh, that's true. Let's not call the lawyers.
Should we call the legal department?
If people don't want... Hello?
Hi, is this the legal department for But I Won't Do That?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing snooker, but yeah.
And we're just making a joke about the female Ghostbusters. Just wanted to run it by you, mate, and just make sure that we're not going to get in any trouble.
From that pile of shit, yeah. What was the trouble you thought you were going to...
Well, we're just saying that the female writers aren't good because they're females. Is that something that we should or shouldn't say?
I'm not sure. I think it is okay to say that it's not as good because they're female.
Right,
Don't worry, I'll field the letters. Don't worry about it.
All right, cool. Thanks. That's the legal department done with, John.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness we've got them. What would we do without those guys?
All the magic is gone now because it's on video.
Yeah.
People can see it. You know, normally, Tim, we do visual gags in a podcast, and this time we're doing an audio gag in a video podcast. So
Gee, we could.
I think we need help.
Nobody else can do that.
Last time John on the podcast was juggling 10 cats, and it looked fantastic, but it just didn't translate well into the podcast.
Sounded great. It's brilliant. But yeah, it didn't look good.
Made a mess. So we're boring the guest.
All right, where are we? You will never forget. You will make me call your name, and I'll shout it to the summer sky.
No, blue summer sky.
Got the blue summer sky.
But this doesn't fit the narrative because he's coming for them at night time. So, Mark Seymour, if you're listening, make your flipping mind up.
Yeah, I mean, you got to wait until the sun comes up, then you shout out, Daphne, Daphne.
Oh, Daphne.
Makes no sense.
And what sort of ring job was it that they've got to wait that long?
Exactly.
It was a good one.
Yeah. Well, John, after all of that's done, we may never meet again.
What?
Mm.
Never?
Never.
Well, it says we may. I mean, we might.
And as a result of our never meeting again, I have a request.
Yes?
It's just a simple request,
Okay,
something that
far
would be
away.
quite easy for you to do.
Far away.
Shed your skin and let's get started,
Shed my skin.
if you wouldn't mind.
Technically, I am a snake. So, yeah, I mean, being a snake, yeah, sure.
If that's not a problem for you to do that.
Yeah. And then after that, we're going to get started.
Do you know what? There
Where
is
are we going to start?
there is a guy who travels around the world collecting perfect specimens of tattooed human skin.
After they've died, I
It's true
hope.
story. Yes, mostly after they've died.
Mostly. Ooh, thank goodness for
Yeah.
that.
And there's one of those cadaver skins hanging up in the Museum of Old New Art here in Tasmania. But it could be on a pig, actually.
The museum
They're
of
easily
what?
confused.
Mona. Have you been to Mona yet, Tim?
Oh, no, I always refuse to go to Mona.
Yeah?
Just because as soon as you get off the plane in Hobart, people are like, you've been to Mona, you've been to Mona, you've been to Mona. It's like, no. I went to Mona before it was a thing, when it was only just a collection of Andrew's, where were they? Mayan, I think, jewels. And
Okay.
then, of course, they had the idea, let's do an offensive museum of, modern art. I mean, my art has hung in Mona, but I still won't go.
Do you come to Tassie much?
Yeah. I used to go there a lot. I just, I'll take any excuse to go to Tasmania. It's so wonderful to visit. You got great people. I've been up and down the coast. I taught at a lot of the schools and the uni, telling people how to be funny. And of course, they already look funny, so it's half the battle.
What do you mean? I don't understand. My mum and dad weren't that closely related.
Do you do weddings and parties? Honestly. But yeah, I love it. But I've never been to Mona because I'm not going to be pestered by people from Tasmania about how I'm going to spend my private time. But I've heard there's a wall of vaginas, and that's, Sydney most
It's
nights.
not great. It doesn't taste good anyway.
What you don't know about that wall of vaginas is they're all scratch and sniff.
Right.
Well,
And that's
they
how
call
I
it-
got kicked out of Mona.
Why didn't they call it the Great Wall of Vagina?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
what a missed opportunity.
It is. That must have come up at the meeting, amongst other things.
You know what I'm going to do after you shed your skin, John?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to throw my arms. You will throw your arms around me.
Despite my skin being really sensitive,
Well, I think
right after I've just shed my skin.
But your arms may have come off. And then you can...
I don't have arms. I'm a snake.
You can...
Makes it easier. I can't throw my arms around. Oh, whoa. What is going on? I'm having a snake existential crisis now. That is not sexy. Stop that, whatever you're doing. That's weird.
It could just be little arms as well.
Oh, you're being a velociraptor. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Again, it's a joke that probably
A
doesn't
visual gag
translate
for
into a podcast.
right.
Yeah.
Nice word.
Tim, I dreamed of you at night time.
Which is the best time.
And I watched you in your sleep.
So hang on. This is after taking his skin off. He then just watches you as you sleep. This really is, it's a warning. It's a trigger warning song.
Yeah. Because when he's awake, he's watching. But when he finally does go to sleep, dreaming.
Yeah.
Like you're never out of your mind.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining this skinless man.
Oh, you're sleeping finally.
Like what's the little creature? Yeah, it was a different movie I was thinking about, but yeah.
When the Hubbardsy sleeps,
Yes.
that's when he takes his skin off.
Huh?
Little Hubbardsy. Sneaky Hubbardsy with no skin. I will throw my arms around him.
Oh, shit, what happened? Did I do it again?
Yeah, you phased out for a minute. I just lost you. You just went into that weird place.
I drove under a tunnel.
One of those 4 places that got kissed.
Ooh, did we do all 4, by the way? We did left tit, right tit.
We've not established it.
Tim mentioned around the Khyber Pass.
Yeah. I mentioned the frontal area, as it's called medically.
Or the Wall of China.
The Great Wall of China, yeah.
I met you in high places. Have any of you been into a high place ever? Don't disparage yourselves.
I went to the roof of Beauty Court.
Oh.
I went right up to the roof.
Tim, what's the highest place you've ever been?
Cradle Mountain. Which,
Really?
considering it's, nearly at the bottom of the world, seemed ironic. But yeah, Cradle Mountain, that's an extraordinary place to go. It's like a cradle, but it's a mountain. Oh, you've just got to try it.
I love the way things are named in Tasmania. It's like, hey, Tom, what do we call this bay that's really sandy? I reckon we call that Sandy Bay. Oh, Tom, you've done this before, haven't you?
Yeah.
What about that mountain over there? Looks a bit like a cradle.
Let's call it Cradle Mountain.
Oh, you've done this before.
What about that mountain over there? Looks a little bit like, say, a Frenchman's cap. What shall we call it?
The
I'm
other
thinking we
Cradle
call it-
Mountain.
Cradle Mountain 2. The Reckoning. The Hillening.
My favourite one is Bust My Gall Hill.
Why do you call it that, John?
Oh, because I got up there and bust my gall. Oh, whatever your gall is.
Why do you call that one Mount Wellington? Because that's where I'm Mountain Wellington.
She's a nice girl, though.
Oh, she's pretty nice. I met her in high places, and do you know what I did when I got there? Nothing sus. I just touched her head and touched her feet.
And that's okay. Some people are into that.
Everyone has a fetish.
And if they're both adults, and that's all right. You can touch people's feet.
It's a strange thing, don't you think, Tim, to put it in a love song? I touched your head and touched your feet.
Yeah. It's like, I suppose that's where you would start.
At the same time?
Well, you'd want to have some kind of plan, but at the same time, like you're bending over, you're stretched, your arms, you want to have a plan. What happens next?
You want to be fit. You want to be limber.
Yeah, you want to be limber.
You want to make sure that she wants you. Do you have to, these days, you have to ask for consent.
Oh, you
Yeah,
always
may I
have to
touch
ask
your
for
head and
that.
your feet at the same time?
Get it signed, probably. Get a form.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to go.
So
who shed their skin? Is it the person who shed their skin doing the touching of the
Well,
feet?
no,
or
that
is
was
it
a
the other way around?
request. It was a request. So
Yeah.
we may never meet again. So as a result of us never meeting again, shed your skin and let's get started. Like grammatically, that's the flow.
Okay. So it all kind of starts with a shedding skin, doesn't it?
It's definitely not a metaphor.
No.
Clearly, it's just this song is not a great way to start a relationship. You've got a head touching, foot touching at the same time.
Squeezing the life out of someone.
You've got
Kissing
the dawn raid of cops. I mean, it's exciting, but, people say, start as you wish to continue. It's not a good start.
Is this why how your relationship start, John? Any of these?
Some of these points seem strangely familiar. I mean, I've known some girls that have shed skins.
Wow.
But I like alien women. That's just me. I don't know. Yeah.
Tim, you've been married a fairly long time?
I have, for a fairly long time.
What is a fairly long time?
I don't know. I haven't been counting for a long time, but it's, well into its, where are we? Like a long time.
A long time. At any stage was there shedding of skin?
No, we don't shed skins, but she's a
Ooh,
perfect Canadian gem. So my wife is not only brilliant, but powerful and good looking at the same time.
Oh,
so I don't really have to do much. To be a power couple in Sydney, all we have to do is walk in with our good looks, and then people check our business cards, and then they fear us.
And they see your acerbic charm.
Yeah, but there wasn't any of that foot touching and head touching and skin shedding. It just wasn't, it just didn't seem right. I'm not going to do romance just because Mark Seymour says, oh, this would be good. Try this. It's not going to work.
Actually, we've got Mark Seymour on the line. Should we see what he's got to say? Is he still on hold, John?
Yeah, I think I've got him back here.
Yeah. Do you want to talk to him?
Hold on. I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask him?
Just ask him whether it's, like supposed to be a rule for and I think we should probably throw Tim under the bus with Mark.
Yeah.
Just to let him know that he hasn't followed the rules. I mean, Tim is pretty definite about it.
Yeah.
No problem, but I warn you, my ringtone is a bit weird. But anyway.
Hello, Mark Seymour.
Wow, that was quick, Mark.
Yeah, we've been on hold for 25 minutes. What's going on?
Hey, just want to ask you a couple of questions about this song of yours. We do a podcast. We won't go into all
Which
that.
Which one? Holy Grail? Holy Grail is my best song.
No, not that one. Throw your arms around.
I don't like to talk about that one.
Oh, why not?
Well, last time I talked about it, Tim Ferguson threw rocks at me.
I heard the story was he called you a wanker.
That's very true.
Yeah. Have the lawyers been involved?
No, I accepted that.
I want to talk to you about your lyrics. What's going on in Throw Your Arms Around Me? Can you give us some kind of background on this?
We were pretty high at the time, to be honest.
You know what? That probably answers every question.
Okay, thanks. I got to go.
Beep, beep,
that was Mark Seymour. I can't believe we actually got him on the line.
Who got him?
People say we sound alike.
They do. You do sound alike. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Like Beyonce, she's actually pretty good. I thought she'd be rubbish on the phones, but she's actually pretty good.
We don't have Beyonce on the phone.
Wait, what? No, I thought, handling the phone, doing the switchboard. She operates the switchboard. We put her on last week, dude.
I didn't know. I've been calling her Bianca.
No wonder she's not happy.
I'm shit at it. Terrible at it.
How are we going to keep her? We're paying her $5 million a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah. We should put a ring on her.
Yeah, I should. Right. So if you disappear out of view, John,
I'm
never going to say goodbye.
I'll never say goodbye.
I never say goodbye. I don't say goodbye.
I don't say what?
I don't believe in goodbyes.
You're too cool for goodbyes.
Yeah, I'm too
cool for school, man.
No, I try to forget it.
But I will say toodle pip.
Oh, that would have been more Australian.
I'll never say goodbye. Toodle pip.
Yeah, but
what's your favourite goodbye? I like hooroo.
Toodle pip wouldn't fit lyrically, but it's a much lighter farewell, isn't it?
It is for this song.
Toodle pip says, I will see you soon.
Toodle pip.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely surprise. Nobody says toodle pip,
no.
But we know what it is. And if somebody comes up with it, I don't know, it's cheery, isn't it?
Yeah, what's the Sydneyism?
Musical.
Goodbye. What do Sydney people say?
Oh, who knows? I don't talk to those people. I know I live in Sydney, but I would never speak to people from Sydney. They know what I'm talking about.
Are you originally from Sydney or Melbourne?
Originally from Sydney, yeah. And then we moved to Singapore. Then we moved to Bathurst, and we moved to Blaney, and then we moved to Newbridge. Then we moved to Canberra. Then I went back to Melbourne, and then thank God I ended up in Sydney. Nothing against Melbourne people, but if I do find something against Melbourne people, I will use it.
What about the fact that Melbourne people are all wankers?
Oh, yeah, but you're only saying that because you're in Hobart. And, you're
have
saying
something to
that
say about
because Melbourne seems so sophisticated. But really, Melbourne's very Frankston. Everybody in Melbourne, would agree to that.
Everyone would. They aspire to be like the Frankstonians.
Yeah, it's like people talk about Sydney being cultured. Yeah. Sydney's just one big western suburb with a small area full of rich people. So it's not really all that, not all that classy.
Last time I was in Sydney, it smelt like urine and disappointment.
At the same time?
Yep.
Normally you only need one.
The bass note was disappointment.
Right.
With some overtones of urine.
Yeah,
and then just
so it started with disappointment. See, usually it works out the other way in my book, but I wear nappies, so my ability to take urinating literally as opposed to figuratively is based upon real hard life experience.
It's a fun story, Tim. Do you know for a living I sell adult nappies?
Of course you do.
I do. I work for a company that we supply aged care.
Which brand?
We have Tenor and Abena.
Oh, I'm big on Tenor.
Yeah. And so if you're from Tenor and you're listening.
Yep. Tenor, it's great. Gives you the comfort and assurance that you need. And of course, I know people are giggling when they're listening or they're saying, oh no, that poor man. But it's important to remember that what year is it? Oh, 2023. I'll see you in 2043. That way we can all talk about our nappies together.
Look, if it makes you feel any better, Tim, I from time to time have to wear them myself. So it's a thing.
Well, that's because you're a party animal.
It's because I piss myself, Tim.
I know people. I mean, I did a routine about this in my live show when people say, oh my God, oh, that poor man wearing a nappy, but they just haven't thought it through. Think about it. You're in a nightclub, say in somewhere swanky, like swanky Salamanca, and there are people dancing and sweating, and all of a sudden you see the most beautiful person you've ever seen in your life. And they're looking at you. They're walking across the dance floor, and they want to dance and they want to talk in that nightclub way. You know, that way where they go, is that you? And you sort of nod and shake your head at the same time. And you think, oh my God, I'm in. It's going to happen tonight. I mean, this is going to happen. This person who's so good looking, man, fantastic. But then the tyranny of your bladder takes over and you have to say, just stay where you are. I just got to go. I'm going to go to the loo and I'm going to come back. I'll only be 30 seconds. And when you come back, they're gone. Like they've left the building. They've been grabbed by someone else. But if you are wearing a nappy, then you're dancing for as long as you want to. And if you get them to come home, I mean, they're in for a baffling surprise unless they too are wearing a nappy. And then you've got so much to talk about. Wow, I like the smell of pina coladas too and all that. So there are good reasons to wear a nappy. Who hasn't been caught short sometime in their life where wearing a Tenor nappy would have actually been far better than what they walked home with?
It's a true story. And there's an ad campaign in there for Tenor as well, I think.
There is, yeah. Starts with a nightclub, so you're out tonight. And you're ready for loving. And you're double ready because you're wearing the double-lined.
You see the guy getting ready and he's thinking about his night, so he just slips an extra pad in.
Yeah. I mean, forget Ben Stiller making that mistake in Something About Mary. You don't have that problem.
There's plenty of padding between the beans and the frank and the zip.
Yeah, you don't end up with gel in your hair. Think about it, people.
Thanks to the sphagnum core.
Yeah.
Don't let your bladder let you down.
Yeah, that's right.
How much did you absorb tonight, John? 1.5.
I absorbed a lot.
Do you know some of those?
I absorbed everything.
Some of them can hold like 1.4 litres.
Wow, that's a lot of beers.
I know. So you can really get on it.
Wow, I'm going to have to get me some. I've not been into it before. You know what? I see the appeal.
You can always wear a tenner slip if you're going to see Tim. And you can see Tim's stuff at the Schaefer Gallery from August 17th to the 21st with Paul Flacco Livingston. We are just out of time, and we kind of got to the end of the song. It all repeated itself towards the end, but I think we had a bit of a whirlwind tour here of police activity, skinning people alive, weird kissing spots, and some entertainment based on pull-up nappies.
From you two, thank you for that. I was very entertained.
I'm gonna get John into it.
You know what?
Don't worry, Tim.
I see the appeal, man. Can you get me some on a discount?
I'll get you some for free. I've got some in the boot.
Oh, brilliant. I saw it.
Tim, I'll slip you a carton next time I see you here in Tassie.
I hope that's a metaphor.
Maybe. Tim, you've been really generous. Thanks so much for being here with us today on our podcast. Have you got any parting words for our audience?
Straighten up, fly right. I think that's good, isn't it?
Well, they should make a song out of that.
They should. That's brilliant. You're genius.
Oh,
Tim
and
Ferguson.
if you're under 30, you will realise when you're over 30 that everything you are doing and thinking is just so wrong. It's setting you back years.
That's a true story. I can attest to that at 50. Tim Ferguson, thanks so much for being here with us today on our podcast. We really love you, man.
Love you guys too, and your thousands of podcastees.
Если я чешу в затылке, не беда. В голове моей опилки, да. Но хотят там и опилки, но кричалки и вопилки, а также шумелки, пыхтелки и сопелки. Сочиняю я неплохо иногда. Да. Хорошо живет на свете Винни-Пух. Оттого поет он эти песни вслух. И неважно, чем он занят, если он худеть не станет, а ведь он худеть не станет, если, конечно, вовремя подкрепиться. Да. Трам-парам-па-пам-парам-па-пам-пам-па. Пум-пурум-пу-пум-пурум-пу-трам-пам-па. Пум-пурум-пу-пу-пурум-пум. Пум-пу-пум-пурум-пум-пум. Хорошо живет на свете Винни-Пух. Оттого поет он эти песни вслух. И неважно, чем он занят, если он толстеть не станет, а ведь он толстеть не станет. Тихо! Да. Пам-парам-парам-парам-па-пам-пам-па.